Welcome back, everybody. What did you think of that first match? Lucifron and Hyun. Good? Well, that's not all we've got for you. We've got lots more coming up. Next, please help me welcome to the stage Goswser and Yugioh. Now, Goswser, I have some history with Millennium and Dreamhack Valencia, and I just want to make you the same offer that 4GG cashed in on. Do you want a good luck kiss? Because it didn't work out for him. No. No? Good choice, sir. Yugioh, I hear you have a message for the fans here. Is there anything you'd like to say?
Yo quiero España.
Hyun likes you. Yugioh loves you. Gentlemen, if you would please shake hands. Let's get this game started. Artosis, Apollo, it's you guys now.
Thank you so much. It is time for yet another match, Apollo.
That's
the last one was pretty fast, and well, I guess this one could be too. It is a Zerg versus Zerg. We have Yugioh going up against Goswser. What do you think about the match?
I think this is going to be quite an interesting match. Yugioh is definitely a player that has never been at this far in a tour. He's never been at this level before, and he's got a chance to prove how well and how good he can actually play at a tournament like this. But as I say that, I feel the same thing for Goswser.
Yes, and so does this audience, obviously. Kaboom, baby, Apollo. It's kind of a hard match to call, I think, because I think Yugioh is the favorite on paper. He's done more than Goswser, but I was talking to Goswser backstage a little bit about making a lot of roaches and then hydras, and he seems pretty confident in doing so.
Yeah, I mean, I think Goswser is coming into this with a much better mentality. He was very confident about going up against Yugioh.
Yeah. So, I don't really expect it, but he's been having better and better results. In fact, an American, other than Stefano, of course, making it so deep in a Dreamhack. Very nice.
Yeah, pretty deep here. It's his deepest tournament that he's actually ever been into. He's in the round of 8 currently. I'm pretty sure he had a round of 16, and that's the highest he's been outside of this tournament here. So we'll see if he can continue through into the semifinals. As here is the first player, one of 2. It is Root Gaming's Yugioh, 21 years old from Korea, and this, of course, will be a Zerg versus Zerg game.
Yeah. Yugioh has had amazing Zerg versus Zerg success lately. He's taken out DRG, a multiple-time champion of multiple tournaments around the world. He's taken out Sulky, probably the best Zerg in the whole entire world. He's just had a lot of great results. So his ZVZ is very good, but Goswser has looked at those games and feels like he actually does have a shot here. So, I mean, I think when a player is looking at his opponent's game saying, you know what, no, he's the favorite for everyone else, but I feel like I can do it, I suddenly have a lot of trust in that player.
Well, there's the guy right now, Goswser. Played and was finished in the round of 32, the first round of WCS Premier League America, and is currently in Challenge League. But we'll see how well he can do here. This is a big, big step for him. And as you said, not too many Americans do go super far in Dreamhack tournaments, so it's a big accomplishment for him.
It's actually quite hard for anyone with an American flag to get deep really anywhere recently. You know, the USA lineup just hasn't done it yet. But having Goswser so far through, I'm holding out hope, Apollo.
All right, well, we'll see as we get into the second game of the quarterfinals. After this, we'll be halfway through, and into the semis and finals we go. Down here, spawning as the red Zerg player, he is Root Gaming's Yugioh. His highest finish was a round of 8 at IEM Singapore last year. A pretty good result for him.
Yeah.
But we'll see if he can push it forward one more level as he's going up against the player up here playing for Team Millennium. It is Goswser.
Still have quite a crowd in here, Apollo. It's really awesome to see, to go to a country like this that you don't necessarily think of first when it comes to esports. You know, I always think of, oh, well, Sweden's got such a strong scene. Germany has so many people that love to watch. I went to France earlier this year. They had a lot of people, but this crowd is pretty badass and pretty hardcore, Apollo.
That's right. We're all having a lot of fun here together at Dreamhack Valencia as we make our way through the top 8 remaining players. Unfortunately, Lucifron not being able to quite make it into the semifinals. We'll see how the rest of the day goes on. Lots of Zerg everywhere in this tournament now.
Yes, it is Heart of the Swarm. And much like Wings of Liberty, we do have a lot of Zergs at the top of tournaments.
No Terrans left in this tournament. A couple of Protoss players to be coming up next. So hold your horses there. But for now, we do have this Zerg versus Zerg between these two players. And it is starting to kick off with both players going for a hatchery first.
Yeah, and a quicker pull for Goswser. A little bit more greed here out of Yugioh. And that's actually going to give him just a tiny, millimeter of a lead.
And there's the beautiful stage where both these players are playing on. Goswser to the right. And then Yugioh over.
Yeah. Dreamhack, family fun. Bring everyone on down.
And a lot of people out here, as you can see, enjoying these games.
As they well should. Well, nothing too out of the ordinary here. We do have Yugioh grabbing a gas, so he's going to be the first player to grab his speed upgrade, most likely.
Yugioh is a very aggressive player, and I wonder if I haven't seen any of his Zerg vs. Zergs recently. I didn't watch any of those games where he played against Dongregyu or Sulky. How did he play those games? I mean, was he super aggressive? Was he not?
You know what? He's a Roach guy, first off. I don't see him go Muta very often. I didn't see the DRG match yet. I was actually, I think, on an airplane for that, possibly. But he's a Roach guy. And he has a little bit of, cats in him, I have to say. He will mix it up a little bit. He is the only player at the top level ZVZ that I've actually seen use mass banelings against Swarm hosts that he feels comes out too quickly. And that's how he ended up beating Sulky. He punished him for having those Swarm hosts by just rolling through the Locust with banelings. And so, he's a player that has kind of a wide range of things he's willing to do if he thinks it fits the situation.
Well, he has thrown down a Baneling nest rather fast here. And we'll see if he wants to be aggressive against Goswser, who hasn't even taken a Vespian Geyser yet, who's playing only on minerals, which means that at this point he's got a decent amount of queens. He can throw down a Spine Curl if he wants. And it seems like he's going to be playing maybe a double evolution chamber Roach style.
Yeah.
And as this Zergling enters the main base here, he's going to see the lack of gases. They are coming down rather late here. Does this now, how would you play if you were Yugioh upon seeing this?
Well, if you find out that it is this later style, I feel like going up to quick mutas is a good call. This is always going to be Roach that you're playing against when they go gas super late. So by getting the mutas, you can kind of control the Roaches and secure the map and then transition into your own Roaches. It's a hard thing to do, but I like that as the answer to this. How about you, Apollo?
Well, as Yugioh, I think that, the best option is just to do something which isn't attacking here. I feel that whether it be a fast third base or teching up incredibly early without a large amount of defense, because you don't need it. Your opponent's going to be playing very, very defensive, and in that return, you can play greedy, and that seems to be what it is. A very fast layer here, no Roach Warren, even cancelling the Baneling nest, just saying, I don't need it.
Yeah, it's always interesting to see a canceled Baneling nest. Doesn't happen all that often, but some of the better players can pull that off.
Well, he does have these Zerglings out there, which are preventing any creep spread from coming in. And Goswser are very, very defensive at this point. But a very strong economy in return.
You can see both players very focused. Going out of focus there for a moment, but very focused here again. And we do have Spire play from Yugioh. I think that this is a really good choice for him. And in fact, I really like that. When you're playing Muta Ling, you really want there to be as little creep for your opponent as possible because you already have a super mobile force.
All right, the Overseer goes in for Yugioh, having a look around, does see that the layer is there, and does return out. I think a really good move from Goswser now is to build a lot of Roaches, and even research Burrow.
Yeah.
And just go around, go everywhere, around the main to the natural, just overwhelm his opponent, who's only going to have a few Mutalisks to begin with. Maybe able to get some damage done there as his Overseer does go in, sees the later third.
It's not a bad idea. When you think about it, 1/1 upgrades for Roaches make them just destroy Zerglings. The Zerglings are going to be two-shotted and take so long to kill a Roach with that much armor. So he definitely will have like a strong little timing in here, but the Mutos over time can clean that up.
Well, the Mutalisks are on the way now, as a couple of Zerglings do make their way in, looking for some form of tech, anything he can find. And he just sees the Infestation Pit as Goswser throws it down in the face of that Zergling before it gets picked off on the natural here. And it looks like he will be playing with Infestors against the Mutalisks, which he knows are coming. But we saw what happened earlier when Jaedong used Mutalisks against Infestors.
That is very true. But you know what? I like the way that Goswser is playing this a bit more than what we saw before, because he's getting his spores. He's still only on 2 bases. He has great upgrades, and he's actually going up right now to 8 queens, and they're going to have 1/1 as well, and a lot of transfuses. This is a very powerful force he's making right now, and I don't think the Mutas are really going to do any damage.
Well, as he moves out now with a couple of Queens and Roaches, looks like he's going to go across the other side here, trying to bring some of these Overlords back in. We have very strong force here from Goswser as he continues to add more and more units on.
Well, right now we have Yugioh actually going up into Swarm Host tech as well as grabbing his Roach Horn, throwing down a lot of spines, and that's a good call. When you see a Roach Mutaforce move across the map, you can't really have enough spine crawlers. You need to make a lot of them because those transfuses are going to be very annoying.
Well, 1 Queen does fall down there as well as a couple of Roaches, but these Roaches are moving across. These Queens are going to take a while. Is he going to be able to break down Yugioh here? It looks like Goswser's just thrown all his resources into this. He's not researching 2-2. He's not taking a third base. Nothing but units streaming across. The third base we're expecting to go down here, but this is where the defense is really set up. Can Goswser break it?
This is almost like all-inish, but you know what? I don't know that he is going to break it because there's a lot of spines already, and there are going to be Swarm Hosts buried there as well. It's going to be very hard for him to actually pick all of that off.
A third hatchery is down by Goswser, which has been spotted by Yugioh.
I really like this play, Apollo, from Goswser. Really, really like it because he's playing so solid. He's not overcommitting even. I thought for a minute there he'd just go for it because he wasn't getting more upgrades, but getting Infestors now, getting the Hydralisk Den in the third base, he's just looking solid.
If these Infestors, they don't have Pathogen Glands, so they're not going to have too much energy when they come out at first, but in a couple of seconds, or at least 30 seconds, they will do. If they get caught, and the Mutalisks get caught and the Queens get a give on them, nice pick off there on that third base, but these Roaches aren't breaking through that anytime soon with spines and...
No, certainly not, but oh, this is a really good catch for Yugioh, making him use up a lot of these transfusions, especially with those Zerglings, but the Queens, none of them dying. Really nice transfusion micro.
Yeah, good job there by Goswser. A little bit unfortunate to lose his third hatchery. I think he'd been in a much, much better position if he'd been able to keep that alive here, as Yugioh does have his third once again on the go. But what are you making of the Swarm Host play versus the Roach Hydra with +2 attack and +1 armor?
Well, you know what? Obviously the upgrade's going to be much better here for Goswser, but Swarm Hosts are just a really good unit when you have a lot of them, Apollo. I wonder how it is that Goswser is going to choose to deal with them, because, like, let's say that he just suddenly made a bunch of Speedbanes, I'd feel really good about his position. If he tries to plow through it with, like, Fungal Roach Hydra, though, Yugioh, I think, might just hold on and whittle him down over time.
Yeah, I guess it really depends on how many units Goswser actually has, because he's already at 160 supply versus only 108.
Yeah.
As a couple of Overlords have been picked off here, he really doesn't have that many units and not that many Swarm Hosts. There's 12 right now, but with a good couple of Fungals and the amount of Roach and Hydras that there are, these Locusts will fall fast. They don't have any armor upgrades.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. They're coming up across the map right now. The next wave will engage this army pretty well, so he's going to have to get through 2-3 waves before he even gets down there, and that can add up as far as damage goes.
He's got a lot of transfuses to maybe keep the front lines of these Roaches healed up as he goes through the waves. As he goes through the first one now, and they're going to expire in a couple of seconds' time, and he's going to grab quite a bit of a stance here. Mutalisks and Lings coming for a counterattack, but Goswser doesn't care about that third base. He's got a very, very powerful army.
Yes, he does. Trying to go around right now, but he might lose this third. And it looks like, he's got so many units. He really wants to get an attack going, and he's super committed at this point. He has to go over and do a lot of damage right now to Yugioh.
13 extra Roaches coming in as Goswser almost maxed out at 200 supply compared to just 128 here. Goswser moves forward. This third base will fall down. And we'll see, can the Roaches, Hydras, and Infestors together break down the waves? Here comes one Fungal, and they will start to fall very, very fast. And Goswser is going to make a march down, start to smash through another wave. He is getting closer and closer to where the Swarm hosts do lie.
Well, he's got some Banelings up there. Don't know that those will help so much. It looks like Goswser is breaking through right now. The Banelings actually going up for a connection. They get fungled, though. And Goswser is breaking through.
And he's got a lot of Roaches coming across the map here. The first couple of Spine Crawlers are left. In the bottom left there, we see all the Swarm hosts coming down. A Fungal on them can keep them there, but he can't quite get there yet. But now Infested Terrans blocking the ramp down. Goswser may be able to do this.
Yeah, he may be able to. There are still a lot of Swarm hosts shooting out all of those Locusts, but so many Roaches pushing forward right now. He's taking out this natural base, and the Swarm hosts are starting to fall.
Yeah, the Swarm hosts are falling, and with a couple of Fungals, if not an Overseer that comes across to help out, I don't think that Yugioh is holding on to this. He's got a lot of Swarm hosts on the high ground here, but the amount of damage and the amount of units that are still coming across the map for Goswser, there's too many units.
There are way too many units here, Apollo. Goswser has set up just a beautiful two-base attack here, a very powerful one indeed. And Yugioh looks like he was a bit too greedy, trying to go for so many high-tech units.
If there was only an Overseer here, one Fungal will do the job as he picks up a lot of these units on the right-hand side, but an Overseer is the real thing he needs. I'm very surprised that he doesn't have one with him, as he is starting to lose a lot of his force. And he decides to split up to do as much damage as possible.
Well, he does lose a lot of his force, and, you know, the Swarm hosts still are doing a lot of damage, but I think he's done enough damage that there's not much chance here left. Yugioh only has 18 drones against the 46 of Goswser.
And now 3 Overseers do come in as the layer falls for Yugioh. Goswser, Roach Hydralisk against the Swarm host. The last hatchery is over here, which is going to get targeted down again. But look at the amount of damage these Locusts have done.
Dude, Locusts, Swarm hosts are very cost efficient, I do have to say. Look at this. Somehow he's cleaned up most of this, but with one hatchery left. Oh no, I'm sorry. No hatchery left. You know, that can hurt your economy quite a bit if you have no hatcheries and nothing mining.
Well, that's all that Yugioh has left as these Swarm hosts right in front. He has one hatchery being built up. And at home, Goswser has taken a new base. New 2 bases. He's got his Overseers with the Roaches.
Yeah.
But I mean, what are these going to do? They're going to sit back and defend and send waves. They're not going to reach the other side of the map, unfortunately.
Yeah, I think Yugioh might be, you know, thinking he's not as far behind as he is, which is really, 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 really far behind. These, you know, sending these Locusts in the center of the map, that's not something that's ever going to help him.
Well, it's a lot of Roaches left over here for Goswser, sitting at about 33, with a couple of Hydras as well. But it looks like he's coming to smash through one more time. He's going to go through these waves, and then with the Overseers above, will grant him vision onto the Swarm host borrowed below.
You know, I think Goswser is just going to come down and kill him. I think he realizes he's killed every hatchery, most of the units, and there's no reason to be afraid of this.
Well, looks like he's not going to take an engagement into those. Maybe he'll run around them. Doesn't necessarily need to take a direct engagement. Can run around. He's got a lot of mobility with these Roaches.
Yeah. Looks like that is exactly what he's doing. Come up through where the third base area is. He's still going to have to fight at least one wave of Locusts, but that's not going to be very hard for him to actually kill through. You know, his upgrade's obviously very much better.
And here comes Goswser from the right flank. And he will smash through these for sure. One good Fungal comes in, and the Locusts aren't going to last too long here. Lots of Roaches, lots of Hydras. They just run straight past.
Yeah, forget it. Why sit there and fight?
Oh, that's nasty. That's where all the Swarmos are. Good Fungal locks everything down, and with the amount of Overseers, this looks like Goswser's game. GG.
And Goswser, look at that. The little fist pump coming up from the American Zerg. Really strong play that game, Apollo.
I think with the words that you said before, how he came into this series confident and then won that game, not too difficult of a game either. I think he's already got his sights planned for the round of 4.
I think you're absolutely right. And he's playing so well. Like that was a very good idea to just go for some upgrades, go for a bunch of Roaches and Queens, and just kind of deal with the Mutas.
One thing, though, as we've known for many a time, seen many a tournament, seen many a player fall, is when they don't look at the objective in front and they look above. They look at the semifinals already and get caught up with emotions and whatnot. He needs to still focus. It's not over yet. That's just one game.
Yeah.
It's a best of 3.
Yugioh definitely can come back, but with a strategy like that up his sleeve, should Yugioh play the same way? Personally, I'm not a big fan of Mutalisk directly into Swarm Host. I think it's a little bit risky against anyone that's willing to put all their resources into an attack.
Yeah, I agree with you. If he's going to use Mutalisk, definitely needs to go too similar how Jaedong played a little bit earlier. Have the roaches in there at first, then go over to the Swarm Host, because it doesn't quite connect too well together. But Yugioh is the man with all the powers here, leading into the next map, which is going to be on Belshir Vestige.
Yeah. You know, I think Yugioh is going to play better from here on out, because actually I'm a bit surprised he played like that. That's almost exactly how Solkey played against him when he defeated Solkey. So for him to pull out that same strategy that does have some holes, does have some flaws in it, is a bit surprising. And I think he's going to go back to his more solid type of play.
That definitely didn't really look like the Yugioh we're expecting in this series for sure. Definitely gave an easier run there for Goswser, the American going up against the Korean. And who's going to go on to the semi-finals? Remember, the winner of this will be going up against Hyun in our first semi-final of the evening.
Yep. And, of course, that will be another Zerg vs. Zerg, so I guarantee you Hyun is here somewhere staring at this screen, studying every move of both players.
Well, Hyun is one to pick apart an opponent. And there's a sign, which some people get. Me and Altosas don't.
Yes, I certainly do not understand that sign. Well,
all right, what do you think then? Next map, Belshir Vestige, who picks it? Is it this man, Yugioh? Does he come back 0-1 and make it 1-1?
You know what? I think he's going to come back. I think he's going to play his Roach play, and they're going to have a nice game. And it would be surprising for me to see Goswser 2-0 Yugioh.
I'd be surprised with that one as well. Yeah. Very, very surprised. As Yugioh so far has had a very good tournament. A very good tournament indeed. Undefeated so far, just going through both group stages 3-0. But he is, facing that first defeat here in the quarterfinals, the round of 8 against Goswser.
Well, we're almost ready to get this game started. Apollo, wouldn't it be crazy? Goswser going to that top 4, getting that spot at the Dreamhack Grand Finals this winter.
That would be pretty big. Remember, top 4 players at every stop so far. Stockholm, Summer, Valencia, Bucharest. Top 4 get automatically qualified to play at the Dreamhack Winter Finals at the end of the year, where there's going to be a lot of prize money involved. It's going to be a 20-player tournament, and everyone wants to play in that.
Oh, yeah. It is so prestigious. But here we go, Apollo. The countdown just about to finish. Our second Zerg vs. Zerg game. And up here in the top left, our Korean Zerg from Root Gaming. It is Yugioh.
And he'll be going up against the American that's come over to attempt a good, solid Dreamhack run. It's going so good so far. It is Millennium's Goswser.
Now, Apollo, what are your opinions on Goswser as a player overall?
I think he looks at the game in a very unique way. Just looks at it and says, and kind of plays out a lot of games before they even happen. Mm-hmm. I think when he's in the, or as we had this spawning pool come down, I think he's a player that sits in the booth and says, all right, this is how I'm going to play, and this will be how he plays. Yes. And I think he plays out the game a lot before he gets going.
Well, Apollo, we're on the same wavelength, man. We are the casting Jaeger for sure, because this is exactly what I was going to point out to you. I feel like he's one of the best metagame players there is. He figures out the way that people play, and he goes in with a strategy prepared to kill it. And then he does that strategy, and he does very well by it. So I could not agree with you more.
Well, we do have a 10 pool coming out here with not a guest been taken, so this is going to be an attempt to cancel the hatchery first here, which is expecting Yugioh to go for, and he is.
I think he will get that cancel. Because when you don't go for the Banelings, there's no way you're just going to chase around drones. That's foolhardy. That's something for Banelings to do. So, yeah, I think he's going to target that down and get his expansion up maybe a little bit quicker.
Imagine if Yugioh, who did go for a 16 spawning pool there, not a 15, so it was a little bit later than usual.
Yep.
Imagine if Yugioh was able to pull this hold off. Oh my gosh.
Oh, never mind. Goswser putting it all on the line in game number 2.
And it has been spotted, and Overlord has seen it. He sees the drones coming across the map, and all of a sudden, he's going to try and get more than just a cancel on this natural hatchery here.
Oh, yes, he is. Well, we'll see how this works out. I mean, that's a lot of Zerglings that he has coming as well. He already has 10 with 2 more on the way. 4 more on the way now. Keeps on doing extractor tricks to get a few more out.
You think he can do this, Autosis?
He very well might be able to. That is a later spawning pool, as you said. Now, we are going to have a bunch of Lings making in just a second, but how many drones can he kill right now?
All right, there's 6 Lings here. There's more and more coming across the map. A Queen and 4 Zerglings are coming. Can Goswser get the damage done?
And we actually don't see him making any sort of spine crawl or anything with these drones, so... Ooh, a nice drone drill right through here by Yugioh.
And he's keeping a lot of these drones alive right now. He's got 16 there. And the Zerglings do start to pop out. More and more Zerglings are coming across here. The spine crawler on the natural had been cancelled, so 2 Zerglings did prevent that from going down.
I tell you what, Goswser's doing a really great job so far. He's dealing a lot of damage and really not taking any.
And remember, every time that Yugioh's running around, he's not mining, while Goswser is building more and more Zerglings. There's 6 more on the way. The Queen has popped out, gets into a beautiful position here. But it looks like Goswser may be able to do this.
He may be able to. Right now he has 20 Zerglings against 2, but he is down by 3 drones.
Oh dear, Autosis. Oh dear. I think the Zergling count may be good enough for him to be able to pick up this victory as he charges down onto these drones. They haven't done anything for ages, and there's so many more Zerglings coming across the map at every cycle. 22 out, 4 more on the way. Where the hell is Yugioh going here?
I don't know. Where is he going?
I mean, he's not really buying time for anything apart from maybe a bit of regeneration.
He's not mining at all right now. So
I think he's kind of accepting that he may have lost this here, Autosis, because
I think you're right. I think he's just drilling the drones back and he's thinking, oh wow, this is how I lost Dreamhack. This is too bad.
And the Zerglings get in here. We're going to have a hold on the ramp, or at least an attempt to hold on the ramp. A drone drill from Goswser comes on, and it looks like it's going to be the American that moves on into the semifinals as the Queen does fall. And with the amount of Zerglings that are here, Goswser's picked up the strategies in Game 1 and in Game 2. He's selected the right builds, the right strategy each time. And Yugioh left at this point with nothing but a GG. And Goswser will play in the semifinals.
Wow, Goswser, an American making the top 4. Guys, give it up for Goswser.
A good 2 games there from Goswser, making it look easy. And well, he will play in the first semi-final of the Dreamhack Valencia 2013, and he will be going up against Hyun.
I have to say, you made a very wise choice not accepting that kiss, because it didn't work out so well before. Game 1, Infestor push, Roach push. Were you confident in that? You went up against those Infestors, cornered them in there. What were you thinking?
I was so nervous, my hands were shaking, and I played so badly. My macro slipped a ton, I missed injects. But I still got pretty far ahead by canceling his 3rd, I think. And then, like, Swarm Host on 2 base are so bad in ZVZ.
Well, Game 2, you must have been feeling a bit more confident than Game 1. How did you decide to do that?
I watched his games earlier in Dreamhack against RO8 and Alistor, and he doesn't 15 pull at all, really. He just goes 15 hatch or 10 pull Bane. So I thought there was a good chance he'd 15 hatch, and since I won Game 1, I knew I could lose a game anyway. And I thought it'd be an easy way to win.
Well, Hyun has been sitting in the audience studying your games. Do you have something a little different to show him?
He's gonna destroy me. He's way better than I am. But I'm happy I got top 4. I just wanted to qualify for Winter Finals, and I think I did it.
Well, you can give me a high five there, because you did qualify for Winter Finals. But, sir, do not give up yet, because you were doing an incredible job. Let's give it up one more time for Goswser. We're going to go to a quick commercial break. When we come back, we have the second half of the quarterfinals.